Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Jetmain Struggles on the Ground. Today we're using the AK4D, aka the G3A3, aka KD, aka Kevin Durant, because this gun is an absolute mid to long range assassin, as you guys are going to see in this gameplay. I'll put my build on screen right now. I'll put both my current build right now and the build I'm using in the gameplay, which is actually not optimal in my opinion. It's just what I had unlocked. But as you'll see, this thing is absolutely silly. So today we're going to be talking through exactly why this is my favorite gun to use in Battlefield 6 right now. Might not be the absolute hard meta best gun in Battlefield 6, but I think it is absolutely being slept on right now, and it is a hell of a lot better than what everyone is giving it credit for. Anyways, in today's gameplay, I am actually squatted up with both Fuzzy OC and Trigger BF, two friends of mine I've been playing with for a long time, and both extremely competent on the infantry. Fuzzy is actually going to have a video on his channel very soon explaining just how he does it. He goes on like 80 kill streaks on foot all the time. Both of those guys are just absolutely silly on the old weapons. So yeah, by all means, go check those guys out. I'll link their stuff in the comments. And while you're at it, if you can give this video a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 200k subscribers. My end of year goal is 200k, but you guys have been absolutely smashing it. So really just thanks so much for all the support. It is absolutely incredible. Just doing this as a part-time thing at the moment and having so much fun with it. So I really do mean that. Thank you guys for supporting the videos. Anyways, as you can see, we are on the ground today. It's somewhat of a rarity for me at the moment because I do love flying in this game, but the good old Battlefield Studios do have a bit of a habit of breaking my beloved aircraft. So I'm being forced onto the ground a little bit more, and this gun is one of the things that's making it a lot more enjoyable lately. So this is the AK4D, the G3A3 in other games, G3, or, you know, the Kevin Durant. This thing is absolutely silly in this game, and the reason why I like it so much is it has both extremely good mid and long range capabilities. You can drop people, especially if they're standing still, with a consistent 3 or 4 bullets pretty much always. But it does have a really good close range playstyle as well, which I'll get into a bit later. But starting with the general playstyle of this gun, it's exactly what I'm doing right now. I like playing at a head glitch or at a deployable cover / baby gate. And I will just chill behind that with a health pack at my feet and see how many kills I can get. That is generally a very meta playstyle in Battlefield 6. Movement just isn't quite as good as it used to be. So you'll see here, I'm just going head glitch to head glitch all the time, peeking guys where I can, and just getting the freest kills possible. And the gun enables it. You can see that guy just got dropped insanely quick at that kind of range, and they don't really have much chance to react. So does tend to be very good at that mid-range playstyle. But this gun isn't just good at mid-range, it's also really good up close. So I'm now in a building, 3 bullets to kill, 3 bullets to kill. Really easy on those 2 guys that pushed me, and the second guy I believe I got with the hip fire, and that is something that I love to rely on with this gun. The hip fire is incredibly accurate for a battle rifle. It's almost like it has an SMG's hip fire, because usually these battle rifles are a little bit clunkier up close. They have a really wide hipfire cone, and you have to run a big laser sight on it if you want it to work. I've got the 10-point laser sight, the green laser, I believe, and I'm getting all the hipfire kills I ever want. It's something that I lean back on all the time up close, and it does tend to work. And in this game, definitely just a general infantry tip is to use hipfire a lot. We do run in and get Trigger up there. Me and Trigger go on an absolute tear this game. I think I end up with 110 kills and he gets 120 something. So absolutely ridiculous game from both of us. And Fuzzy is off in the distance trying to roleplay as Chris Kyle, getting his long shot kills. So thanks Fuzzy. He does come in with some revives here and there, but he is on a bit of a mission this game, so he isn't dropping 600 kills as per normal. Now, a very critical thing to get into with this gun is the aiming style that you have to use. So if you're from COD, firstly, welcome. I welcome absolutely everyone. I love to see Battlefield as popular as it is right now. But in Battlefield games, traditionally, you can't just hold the mouse down. You need to manage something called spread. So a quick lesson in Battlefield, there is something called spread, and the way it works is a parameter called spread increase per shot. This is often abbreviated to SIPs, so if you see that thrown around, that's probably what it is. And this is basically the amount of extra dispersion you have on each bullet while you're firing full auto. And the way you get around this, at least in traditional Battlefield games, and with some of the weapons in this game, is you burst fire. You take some time in between shots, let the spread come back down to the base value, and you stay accurate. Thing is, in Battlefield 6, you have to do this with some of the weapons, but you don't really have to do it with all of them. So that's why you're seeing a lot of the meta weapons becoming the low sips weapons, such as the MP5, the SGX, or the Cord. These guns all fire very, very fast, and they seem to have a very, very low spread increase per shot, allowing people to pretty much beam targets and not burst them at all. This is really, really effective, but there are some cases where you can use a gun like the AK-4D. You can bust out the Kevin Durant, and you can get some really, really good results at long and mid-range just by applying some of those core Battlefield principles, such as burst firing, which are lost on a lot of the player base at the moment. It's a bit of a lost art, especially in 2042, where you didn't really need to do it much, so people have forgot how to do it. Now, the other absolute critical thing you should be doing when you're aiming this gun, it's something that's critical with all guns at the highest level, but if you want to be successful with a low fire rate weapon like the G3, you need to focus on your first shot accuracy. Take a little bit extra time, if you have to line up that first shot, rather than just going straight into a spray. It should be a habit with all guns to have good first shot accuracy, but with these low fire rate ones, it especially matters a lot more. And as you see right there, there's the hip fire, just absolutely clutch coming in at close range, and we managed to get trigger up, get up the ladder, and we keep the streak going. With that last tip though, that is pretty much what goes through my head when I'm trying to play with the G3A3. Those are the key principles to playing this gun well, in my opinion. And we're going to get through into this gameplay and just what I'm doing to try to make it work and get this many kills out of the lobby. So right now, we're playing on the front lines of the A sector. There's a lot of enemies that are going to come back and try to take this because we just captured it. So the current objective is to get rid of as many of these enemies as possible. But where I really want to be is the buildings across the road, so I can start to work into the lower buildings and shoot down onto the B flag. So again, the weapon I'm using, the playstyle I'm trying to use with it is a more mid to long range playstyle where I want to be taking range engagements, burst firing, and just exploiting a 4-bullet to kill. So my goal is to get across the road and into those buildings. So we've finally done that. We clear the building up there, and now we start to get a little bit more aggressive. I hear a lot of footsteps around, so I'm just trying to clear all my angles. But this is kind of exactly where I want to be. So I'm just making sure my buildings are clear, playing a little bit slow because I don't have many teammates around me. Generally, your amount of aggressiveness can somewhat depend on how many teammates you got around. If you're with your whole gang and there's a few enemies that you can push and you outnumbered them, play a little bit more aggressive and get the kills. But if you're on a massive flank like this and it's critical that you stay alive, I'm clearing my angles a little bit more and I'm taking less risks. Again, the headshot there is just absolutely brutal, and we're playing pretty slow around the angles, and anytime I hear a footstep, I have to wind it all the way back, take care of the urgent priorities, which are players pushing me. So, try to clear out the guy who's closest there, who could possibly kill me. I take another peek at this building here, listening for footsteps, looking at my minimap. I see a guy about to push, hold his angle. I like to hold a little bit further from the angle if it's up close, because I expect him to wide swing, which is what he did. At this point, I've got a few kills and I'm in deep enemy territory, so I'm expecting a lot of revives. So I'm basically playing bodyguard here. I'm going to go between all the bodies that I've killed, and I've got to check that no one's running up to revive them. So, you know, looking towards this way. One guy comes over for those bodies. Someone's came over for this body right here. He gets him up. That's really unideal. I get in an awkward situation. Managed to win it with the Magnum, but I have to keep checking the bodies to make sure that players aren't going for the revives. And after maybe 10-15 seconds, you can usually assume that the revives have been abandoned and you can keep going along your day. So that should be fine at this point. We're going to start to look across the road. See a guy who's a decent while away, but still just gets instantly dropped by the G3. Hip fire kill, bread and butter for the G3. And I'm surprised that wasn't a kill at that range. Anyways, I've done what I like to do a lot, which is just get back into another power position. So I'm playing this building here. I can throw down a health pack in here. I can throw down a deployable wall, baby gate, and just play the position. I know the enemy spawn is off to my right with these buildings, so I'm just going to play around this building, get a med pack down, and take peeks towards their spawns. And there really isn't a whole lot I really need to do from this position other than just stay alive and keep alternating which side I peek from. So peek from here, you know, get a shot in or two. Peek from here. Again, just focusing on that first shot accuracy. You can notice with all those kills, it's just first bullets in, the second and third are going to follow. And I do think that's why I like this gun so much. It just really, really rewards good fundamentals. And it feels very, very good when you get everything right and get the kills. So very much enjoying just applying those and getting a lot of free kills here. Unfortunately, someone runs up on me from the flank. He's got a suppressed gun. Didn't notice him coming, but we are going 76-2 right now. And of course we get the revive. Playing with this many friendlies around the objective, you're always going to get picked up there. Again, just first shot accuracy, tapping away at long range. If someone stands still against you, you're going to get the kill. And what I'm doing now is I'm flanking around this left side. So I have very, very good long range capabilities for an assault rifle especially. I can just play an angle like this from a long range and tap away at enemies. And unless they have another G3 or maybe a DRS IAR, they are really going to struggle to contest me at this kind of range. So also a sniper or a DMR would do it as well, but again, I'm willing to take those kind of fights. So again, just working these angles off in the flank, tapping away at targets. Almost get the 4-bullet kill there. Got them down to 75. But I'm just going to keep working these angles. Going to get a deployable cover up, play the head glitch. And this is a very, very hard thing to deal with for the enemy team. Anyways, I do notice my friend Trigger is up there very aggressive. And I throw a smoke to try to push towards him. Good timing because he ends up going down. So he calls it safe. Get the revive. Another teammate down, we get him up as well. And Trigger's having a rough one here. We're just playing a little bit more aggressive though, so you can get caught out. I have no idea where that guy spawned from. This confuses the hell out of me. I'm looking for a beacon frantically, looking for a player potentially. But again, cannot figure out how he got there. We're going to start playing towards this this fence. And I'm not really rushed to get in here. I'm happy to ADS it and just really, really slowly peek and get the free kills. If I'm already holding you on an angle with the G3 and you peek into it, it's good luck. The ADS speed sometimes catches you, but once you're ADS'd in, if you know there's going to be players pushing, just have the patience and hold the angle. We end up pushing through this left section here. It's probably my favorite way to push through the objective here. I like to pick one side and then push through. Rather than going through the middle, go through one side and clear it kind of left to right, or right to left. Those situations are situations I hate to be in with the G3. I made it work there with the 3-man and 1 mag, but this gun is a 1v1 / maybe 1v2 specialist weapon. It doesn't really excel very well in like 3- and 4-man feeds. The mag is just too small and it's a little bit random still with the spread. You know, when you start spraying for a long time, that will get you. So it's definitely more of a 1v1 specialist gun, and that's how you should play Battlefield. Again, fundamentals, force 1v1s, break a 1v3 down into 3 1v1s. I see a lot of people playing like this hero ball style on Battlefield, and it's going to be looking good in the clip videos, but it's also going to give you a 3 KD maybe at most. If you look at any of the really top infantry players, look at Enders for example, I think he does this pretty much the best out of anyone, but he's excellent at forcing a lot of 1v1s, breaking the game down. Anyways, my team is really, really struggling here. We can't really get through this point. So much so that they are pushing into us. We are getting the kills. We are playing objectively, but sometimes the team is just not it. My body is on fire right now, and this guy just runs and gives me a 50 res into the flame grenade. Absolute despicable stuff. Honestly, that was really, really rough. People need to learn to hold down their defibs. I actually ended up typing in, don't 50 res into a fire grenade or whatever. So that ended up triggering me a little bit, and at this point the game's over. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. The AK-4D, really, really fun gun to use. We ended up going 110 for 11. Trigger went 127 to 7. That guy's a beast. Go check out my mates in the description. Go sub to this channel. Leave a comment, leave a like. We're on the road to 200k. Thank you guys for helping me so much with that, and I'll see you all next one. Peace.